Okay, so now that all this is set up, I think it's time to add the captions. So now in order to add the captions, I'm gonna go to captions and graphics here and make sure this is on text. And we're gonna go to transcript and we're gonna make sure that we're only transcribing this part 6, not the YouTube intro. We don't need to we don't need to transcribe that. So make sure this is deselected and let's press transcribe and it should transcribe the whole clip for us. All right, now that our clip has been transcribed, the first thing that we want to do is remove all the commas and all the punctuation. So you can just search it in here. Let's put the comma first and it'll highlight all the commas. We want to press replace and just press replace all. And that will get rid of all of them. And do the same for the periods, replace all. There might be question marks, replace all. Now they've all been removed. We can move on to correcting any mistakes that the system made in transcribing. And usually there's a lot, so this might take a little time. You can just click on the first word here and it'll take you back to the beginning. You can press space bar to play. Psalm 115. Okay, immediately, already mistakes. Psalm 115 verses 12 and 13. Psalm 115 verses 12 and 13. The Lord has been mindful of us. That's good. He will bless us. That's better. He will bless the house of Israel. That's not me. He will bless the house of Israel. Yeah, so every time that you spot a mistake, just go ahead and fix it, and then you can just click out of it and continue by pressing the space bar. All right, so I just finished making all my adjustments to the transcript. One thing I noticed while doing this was that there are a lot of places where he doesn't finish his sentence and he moves on to another point, or he just abruptly stops in the middle of his sentence. So if there's a point like that, just make sure to add a dash to just like indicate that, you know, his point or his sentence was incomplete. Once you do that, go to captions at the top here and you want to press create captions and press on this thing right here, and you want to add a style. So one of the files you imported was the Light City YouTube caption style, so it has the font and everything you need, and just change it to single and then you can press create captions. All right, once the captions have been imported into our timeline here, let's go back to editing. And yeah, let's go back to the beginning. One thing I forgot to mention is that you can zoom in and out of your timeline. So you can zoom out and you can zoom in. In order to do that, if you're on a mouse and keyboard, you can hold Alt and you can zoom in and you can zoom out. If you're on a trackpad, I think you can just pinch and zoom to do the same thing, or you can just use this little bar at the bottom and you can zoom in and zoom out. So yeah, let's go to our transcription here. So the first thing you'll notice when you look at it here is that it's all in lowercase. We don't want it to be in lowercase, so we're gonna highlight all our captions and then go to captions and graphics. Yeah, let's highlight it again. And now you should see all this come up here. So we're gonna change it to all caps. So click on this and you should see that it all became caps here. Let's go back to editing. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the transcript and make sure that there's no gaps like you see here. We don't want those gaps, so we're just gonna close it. We just wanna make sure that the text matches what he's saying and it's coming at the right time and not too early or too late. So let's do that just piece by piece. Verses 12 and 13. The Lord has been mindful. Okay, so immediately I'm seeing something that I don't want in this part of the transcript. I feel like this should be with the first part. So I'm just gonna highlight it, Control X on my keyboard, that cuts it. And then I'm gonna click on this one, double click here, and then paste it, Control V in there. I would recommend using those keyboard shortcuts because it just makes everything quicker. So I want it to be here and not in the next one, but you'll notice that
the text will change before he says and 13. So let's listen to it.
And 13.
Yeah, it changed before he said and 13. So we're going to just adjust this.
And 13.
Yeah, so I'm going to zoom in a bit, holding down Alt and scrolling just to make it a little bit bigger. All right, so as soon as he says the, I'm going to make a cut right here. And I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to drag this first one to fill that space. So now you'll notice that the text stays for as long as it's meant to. There we go. So it made the jump at the right time. And you're just going to have to keep doing that piece by piece. And I know, yeah, it's probably a long process, but yeah, let's just keep going.
Maybe I can go over Aaron's house, but that doesn't.
Yeah, so make sure to close these gaps, because look what happens when you don't close them. The text disappears for a second, and we don't want that, so just close it up.
Maybe I can go over Aaron's house, but that doesn't mean. Verse 13.
Yeah, so I think verse 13 should go into the next box and not this one. So I'm going to Control Exit to cut, and then click on this one, and let's just add it to the beginning. And down here, I'm just going to adjust it so that the text aligns with what he's saying.
13.
All right, so he says verse 13 around here somewhere.
Verse 13.
All right, that's how you align it.
You want to shout right there. If you fear the Lord, if you reverence the Lord.
I noticed that this line of text came in a little bit too slow, so I'm just going to adjust it here. Drag this one back, bring this forward. Let's hear it.
Reverence the Lord. Reverence the Lord.
Okay, well, it's way back here. There we go. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you a little bit of how I edit this. Hopefully you get a sense and you can just go ahead and just complete the whole thing. So let's cut to the part where all this is completed.